Turkey will ratify Finland's NATO bid, Erdogan says.
Here's a summary of the article.
Ankara. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced on Friday that his country will kick off the ratification process of Finland's NATO membership. Speaking alongside Finnish President Sauli Niinisto, Erdogan said Finland has addressed the security demands that Ankara set out in return for its support for the Nordic countries' accession to the alliance. Join the Middle East's top business and policy professionals to access exclusive pro insights today. Finland and Sweden abandoned their historical military non-alignment policies and announced their bids to join the alliance in the face of Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year. Erdogan said Ankara's talks with Stockholm will continue. Finland, which shares a more than 1,300-kilometre border with Russia, had previously announced that it would not join NATO without Sweden in solidarity with its western neighbour. Following Turkey's ratification, Hungary will be the sole NATO member dragging its feet on Finland's membership bid.
This post received a score of 6,000, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Sweden, pretty much no chance till after the Turkish general election, May 14. Erdogan is playing to his political base, and won't risk alienating the vote domestically until after the election.
It's not like it matters as much as Finland anyway. Finland joining NATO is as threatening to Russia as Ukraine joining NATO. NATO would be able to have a launch pad to immediately disable whatever that northern Russian port is that houses its nuclear submarines, let alone being spitting distance of St. Petersburg. Once Finland is in, every major Russian military port will be bottlenecked or surrounded by NATO or allies of NATO. Turkey can cut them off from entering the Mediterranean, Japan and Korea can cut them off from leaving the Sea of Japan, and Finland can keep them from leaving the Baltic Sea while also having significant presence in the Arctic. Now if Ukraine also manages to regain control of Crimea, that's pretty much it for Russia's navy outside of submarines.
NATO already can attack St. Petersburg quickly. Estonia is already a member of NATO.
Without Finnish cooperation, Estonia plus Latvia plus Lithuania is incredibly vulnerable to being cut off from the rest of NATO by Belarus and Kaliningrad slamming the land border between Lithuania and Poland shut. And #X200B. With Finland joining NATO, Estonia and company are no longer vulnerable, and now Kaliningrad is the one that's completely at NATO's mercy.
Mercy, TBH. NATO is still a defense alliance. NATO won't do shit if Russia keeps calm.
Putin can't stand the idea of being dominated like in the old days when Mongols said, "Jump," and they'd ask, "How high?" and can serve you in others' ways too, master?
I don't believe this until the papers are signed. Erdogan and Orban have changed their minds multiple times already.
Until then it's just smoke and mirrors.
Grats Finland.
Orban will block it.
I don't see why he would, especially if is the only country.
Apparently he's trying to get the EU to go through with a loan they blocked cause he's a wannabe dictator. Although I imagine he'll approve Finland soon, he probably doesn't want to be the only one NATO's mad at. Sweden is another story. Sweden isn't a priority anyway. If Finland is admitted, there are no remaining land corridors between Russia and Sweden that aren't covered by NATO. Their only option would be attacking via the Baltic Sea from Kaliningrad, which would be very transparently built up beforehand. Finland's admission effectively covers Sweden with NATO protection anyway.
Finland joining is far more important than Sweden, as Finland is the main border to threats from the east. Why do you think Turkey is a key NATO member? One of those threats unfortunately recently decided to show to the world its intent to conquer and expand, and destroy those who oppose. Sweden is the central-most of the Scandinavian countries. If Sweden was ever attacked while being encircled by NATO countries, its neighbors would turn any invader's existence into pure misery. People seem to underestimate the extremely close bonds between the modern Scandinavian countries.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.